One more day has passed in plank purgatory. It's day 34. Today I am going to talk about failure. There's a reason for this. I failed today. I failed in an uninteresting way. I failed because I was not focused. I was not paying attention. I've got a little garage gym. I've got a barbell and some weights. I decided I'm going to lift some weights today. I went in my garage. I started squatting. I do this almost every day. I started squatting. I put on 225 pounds. And this is a weight that I can squat multiple times. I could do this multiple times in a row. Today, I just wasn't in the moment. I wasn't in the moment. I was not focused, and maybe I'm a little bit neurally spent. Maybe I'm pre-fatigued. Maybe there's some other factors in play. The big thing, though, is I was not paying attention like I needed to be. I put the weight on my back. I walked it out. I went down, and I did go up a little bit. I started pushing back up, but I just didn't have the leg drive, and I got stuck. I went right back down, and I failed that rep. And I had to do the, I don't know what you call it, walk of shame, the jump of shame. I had to jump, forward with the weight on my back, drop all that weight on the floor, unload it, re-rack it, and try again. I gave myself a few minutes to collect my thoughts and just analyze what had just happened, what I had just done. I failed. I failed with a weight that I have done a lot of times before. I failed with a weight that I then proceeded to successfully squat just a few minutes later. I failed because I wasn't focused. There's a lot of things that can take away your focus if you let them. At the end of the day, I do believe that we are in control of our own minds, and if you choose to be distracted, you will get distracted. If you choose not to be distracted, you will not get distracted. Today, I let myself distracted. I let myself get distracted. And so, I failed. In the moment, I need to be thinking about, what am I doing? How does my body feel? How can I handle this weight? How much should I push with my legs? How heavy is it? Slowly descend. I needed to be present, and I wasn't. And so I failed. Now, enough of that. I got a comment yesterday on the last video. Endorphin Enjoyer said that the best way to test your willpower is to train while dehydrated. I disagree with this. I've done this quite a few times. If you are slightly dehydrated, yeah, it'll be annoying, and maybe you are working your willpower. If you are actually dehydrated, that's not going to be good for you. from my experience, your blood pressure goes down, right? You got low blood pressure. When your blood pressure's low, your body is slower on getting oxygen everywhere. And I have had many cases of lightheadedness in the gym, lightheadedness training from being dehydrated. And I've even had a couple cases of passing out, blacking out because of dehydration, just because I wasn't properly hydrating myself. I wouldn't recommend that. If you are doing a fast and let's say you're not training hard, you don't have the intensity really, maybe, yeah, maybe it would work. I've done a lot of water fasting, and I've even done a completely dry fast a couple times. In fact, 2 years ago, I did a 7-day fast, no food for 7 days. And for 2 of those 7 days, I decided I would withhold from water as well. I decided I want to see what it's like. I want to see what I could do on this. And I went with no water as well. That was interesting, but I wasn't training during that time. I wasn't training. I've trained through fasts quite a lot, and fasting will sap your energy. Once you run through that sugar, that glucose in your body, you don't have all the explosiveness. You can't really produce energy consistently like you can when you're well fed. You'll cramp up. There's a lot of side effects. I will say, being dehydrated, I haven't tested it out too much, but I don't plan on it either. I haven't had good experiences being dehydrated. And I've never found it to be beneficial for my training either. What I've found to be the best for my willpower, the best way to test it and train it, is simply to test it. That might not make sense. It makes sense to me. If you want to test your willpower, you just have to test it. Whatever you're planning on doing, do it all the way. If you want to do pull-ups, as many as you can, that'll test your willpower. Push-ups, Endorphin Enjoyer knows this firsthand. Push-ups, you want to test your willpower? How many can you do in a row? How many push-ups can you do in a row without stopping? That'll test you, absolutely. You want to run? How long can you go without stopping? When your stomach starts to ache, when all of your bones are aching, when you feel like you're running out of sweat, when you've got a headache, when your organs burn, that's going to test your willpower. It's quite simple. You just got to do something, and you got to go hard with it. I've done a few things that I know have tested my willpower. One of these being high rep squats. High rep body weight squats. Once you get past 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 body weight squats, you start making excuses. You start saying, I don't really need to be here. What's really the positive of being here? You got to push through that. That'll test your willpower. Add some weight. That'll definitely test it. Squats with weight for high reps will absolutely test your willpower. They'll absolutely knock you out as well. About a month ago, I did 41 reps with 135 pounds. Not that crazy. Not very crazy. A lot of people could do that. 41 reps with 135 pounds, and that tested my willpower. After 20 reps, I wanted to quit. 30 reps, I was spent. 36 reps, I'm still spent. I still want to quit. 40 reps, I'm done. 41 reps, that's pretty good. 42 reps, that's when I'm really done. That's when I really quit it. I decided that's good enough. Could I have gotten more? I would have had to test my willpower. I'm not sure. I'd love to say yes, but I didn't do it, so I can't really say that. Pushing to the point of failure and then going beyond. That'll test your willpower. I couldn't do that today. If you're not focused, you can't test your willpower. I could do multiple squats with 225 pounds under ideal conditions, under better conditions. I could do multiple reps. Today, I went for one, I failed it. A few minutes later, I went for another one, and I got that, but that didn't test my willpower. Willpower is tested in a different way. It's got to be sustained. That's how you really know. That's when you start digging deep. Like a fight. If anyone practices martial arts, they know this. I personally do Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, MMA. I practice a couple martial arts. And when you're training for hours, when you're absolutely spent, that'll test your willpower. If you do 5 rounds of sparring, that'll test you. If you want to do 5 more rounds, even more. 15 rounds of sparring in a day, that'll test you. All new opponents, you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to step out. You're going to want to sit down. There's plenty of ways to test your willpower. I don't think it has to be some fancy, some trick. It's just about pushing yourself. It's quite simple. The thing is, you can't fail, because if you fail, you're no longer testing anything. I'm thinking about a David Goggins quote. He seems to be coming up a lot in this series. David Goggins says, I can always take one more step. I can always take one more step. When he's doing an ultra marathon, the point of quitting, the point of failure, is when you answer that question with no. Can I take one more step? No. That's when you fail. That's when you quit. That's when your willpower can no longer be tested. Can I take one more? Yes. All right. Keep going. Can I take one more? Yes. Keep going. One more step, one more step, one more step. And honestly, luckily for everybody, things are limited to a certain extent. Every race has a start and a finish. Every challenge has a beginning and end. There are parameters that we all fall within. And that's a good thing. Otherwise, we'd be stretched too thin. And really, there would be no growth. This has been Plank Purgatory day 34. I did 5 2-minute planks and 5 1-minute planks. 15 minutes of planking total. That's it. Bye now.